Hi, I'm Daniel with etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at and I'm going to show you how to install the Rhino-Rack Aero bar roof rack for camper shells on our 2021 Ram 1500. This roof rack system is going to be great for a variety of things. Our neighbor today, he's a contractor and he's going to be using it on the job site for ladders and that kind of thing. But you can use these for really anything. It's like a rooftop tent, cargo box, or even some kayak carriers. Now these are a nice durable solution for your rooftop accessory. As you can see, these are not going anywhere and they are adjustable, so you can move them anywhere on this rack so they can be suitable for a wide variety of accessories. Now I'll go ahead and get you a couple measurements. So from the top of your roof to the bottom of the rack is going to be about 3.5. So that's good to know if you have any bigger clamp-on accessories, you know, make sure those can fit. Now the next measurement is going to be to the top of your rack. That's going to be about 4 3/4. So that's good to know if you have an accessory that's pretty tall, you can add that to that measurement and make sure you can pull in and out of garages safely. This is more the economic choice over some other brands like Thule or Yakima, but in some ways they're actually better. They have locking cores, which is really nice. Most of the other brands don't come with those already installed. If you decide to get this camper shell rack for your truck, then please let us know how you're liking them and how they're serving you out on your adventures. Whether you're using them with a rooftop tent or you're using them for more work-related purposes. Now, as far as the installation goes, it is pretty involved. You have to measure a lot just to make sure everything's right. You are going to have to drill through the camper shell itself, but it's not too hard and I can walk you through it if you're wanting to do it yourself. But if you don't have the time or tools, then please feel free to check out our dealer locator and we can find a professional in your area to get this installed for you. But if you're looking to do it yourself, follow along. First off, we want to lay out our rails onto our camper shell. I already laid out the driver's side and I'll show you how to do it on the passenger. First off, I want to get the rubber feet and I want to put those in both sides. That's going to help me determine where to place this front and back on the camper shell. What we're looking for is for these rubber pads to be fully on top of the camper shell. You don't want them to be sticking out past the radius here. So I'll do that on both sides and I'll measure it to the one we already have laid out on the driver's side. You want to make sure that you're going to be drilling in a spot that's not going to have anything that's going to impede where your drill bit's going to go through. So there is this piece of wood that's supporting the box here, and ours is pretty far in, but that is always something to keep in mind. And two things you may need to make this a lot easier is a soft tape measure, and I'm using just a regular tape measure as well. I put some tape on this radius just to protect it, and I'm going to measure back the same distance I got on the driver's side, and we're looking pretty good right here. And how I initially placed it was I just made sure these rubber feet weren't going to hang over the edge like I said before, like I did on that side. I just made them equal. I'm going to pull this rubber cap off and then I'll just put a piece of painter's tape where I want this to sit. Now that these rails are centered front to back with each other, I'm going to set that to the measurement I have on the driver's side. Make sure those are equal. Now this camper shell was pretty tapered, so I figured the best way to do this is to put a piece of tape along the whole thing. I went ahead and measured from window to window and got the center. And I did this in the front and the back. And now I can simply take that center measurement and get these even to the center of the camper shell. So I got my back measurement and now I'll go ahead and get the front one. And that's looking good. So I'll take my marker and I'll mark both sides of the tape where this needs to sit. I'll do this on both sides. And once you've got these looking good, the one last check you can do is take your tape measure, slide it under and measure from the window and make sure that these are the same on both sides. And it's always good to double and triple check because once we drill into this, we can't undrill it, of course. So this is really important. And so once we've triple checked the side measurements, we can take a tape measure and I'm going to measure the front and back between the rails and make sure these are even. And square to the truck by measuring to the window. And now on the T-track here, I can mark the center on some tape that I put down earlier on either side. Now to get the measurements more accurate, make sure these don't move around on you. I did tape them down, made it a little easy. But now that I marked our center of our T-track, I can take these off and I'll get this moved over. Now I'm gonna put tape where we're gonna drill. I'm gonna use our rail as a straight edge and put it on our marks. And I'm just gonna use a marker or pin and draw the line between them. Now we can lay out where we're going to drill into our camper shell. The instructions specify 15 millimeters from the end of our rails here. And if you're using a ruler with inches on it, it's about 5/8 of an inch. But what you're looking for is, for when this is the rubber insert, you want that hole to line up with the hole you drill. Now we are going to have 8 bolts going down through here, so that means 8 holes. So I laid out a measuring tape between the 2 marks we made on the ends, and I divided by the number of spaces. So we're going to have 7 spaces. So I divided by that, and I got my equal spacing. So I just laid out my measuring device, and I put marks on those measurements all the way down. Now I'm going to use an 1/8 inch drill bit at the start, and I'm going to open it up to a 1/4 inch. And if you do have carpet on the inside of your camper shell, be careful because that drill bit likes to grab it and it'll spin it up and stretch it out. So as soon as you go through, stop the drill and back it out. I got all that fiberglass out of our way, and now I'm going to take the tape off. And I'm going to leave the tape on the ends just so we know front to back that we're still square. Oh, and get all this out of our way for now. I got the rail down, and now I'm going to insert all the T-bolts that come in your kit. I'm going to just slide these down. Now the last bolts on either side will go through the rubber end caps first. And then I'll put that on and slide that in as well. And now we can put our rubber O-ring on all our bolts. We don't have to put it in the ones that our end caps are in because these already have the rubber. So I'll get these slid on. These are just extra layer of protection for rain getting in. Before we get the rail in place, we have these square pieces of butyl tape, and I'll just place them right in the center of our hole. And you will need to get both the backing and this gray piece off. I'm using a pick just because this can stick really easy. And I'm just going to do that. I'll go ahead and get those stuck on all of our holes. Now we can put our bar in place, and I'm going to set it just on the outside just so I can move all the bolts roughly where they need to go. Now I'll flip it back over, start on one end, get it started, just work my way down. And that butyl tape does make it a little difficult, so just kind of work it until you have them all in there. And push it all the way down. Now I'll take the knob with the nylock nut embedded inside and get these all tightened down. And if there is butyl tape over the bolt, just get that picked off so that's not gonna get in your way while you're screwing these down. And it doesn't give you a torque spec, so just tighten them down as much as you can just so they're flush on top and you can't really turn them anymore. And I'm tightening them down in the order that the instructions state. And it's really kind of just starting in the middle and going back and forth. Make sure it's all tightened down evenly. We are ready to assemble our cross rail. So first off, you're going to grab your tower. It comes with a key and locking core. I'm going to get this taken out. And I got a bolt that comes in the kit. Now you're going to have a flat washer and locking washer. I'm going to put that through the bottom hole here, up through the top, and get our washer threaded on. This has threads in the middle. Just going to do a little bit, set that down, and we got a tool to take the end caps off. Take the end cap right off, and I'll get this slid on in, and I can put that end cap back on. And I'll lock that back into place. You're going to want to do that on both sides. I'm going to take our tool and tighten this down just enough where you can still move it. So I'm going to back off just a little bit so I can still move this just a little. I'll do that on both sides. Next, you're going to want to grab your track leg, and there's going to be a grommet. We'll just put that in the middle. Get that pushed down. This will reduce noise. Now I'll take our bolt, I'll get a locking washer and flat washer, get this put through. Same process as the tower, and thread this on it. I got our track leg, and I'll slide those metal rectangles into our track from the back here. There's a little bit of an opening. And now this is the point where you want to measure your accessory so you can get the distance on this how you want it. So we already went ahead and installed the front rail, and if you had an accessory, you would install this where you needed it for your accessory. I'll take our tool and get these tightened down. Now that we got our driver's side in place, I'll go ahead and measure to the back of our rail, and I'll do the same thing over here to make sure that they're both even. I got that good, so I'll tighten this one down as well. I got our crossbar, and now I will put these in our track leg. And there's these two red tabs, and you want to push in on these, and that's going to push the two pins on the side in. And then let go, give it a little shake, and you should hear a snap. Now I will measure the ends, make sure they're even on both sides. And once I've done that, I'll tighten down the set screw with a 3/16 Allen key. Now this doesn't come in the kit, but it is easier to tighten it down while you're up here so you can take it off and it all stays together. We took it back off, and now we're going to put the weather stripping on the back side here, and this is just going to decrease the wind noise so it doesn't go in there and make a whistling noise. So I'm going to take this. I'm actually going to just take a measurement here and cut it to that. Now I'll just simply push this into place, and I'll do the same thing on this side, and it does make it a little easier to take this end cap off. So you can just slide it in and cut it at that measurement. Cut it just a little more. Slide that on, put our end cap back on. And now I can throw this back on the roof. And as you can see, this is nice and sturdy. This is going to support your accessory up on your roof, and you're good to go. That was a look at the Rhino-Rack Aero Bar Roof Rack for camper shells on our 2021 Ram 1500. Thanks for watching.